All right, so to all my new agents, or maybe you've been an agent for a minute and you're just struggling to get money that you thought you'd be making. I mean, everyone joins this career because they think you're gonna be like the people on TV, right? Like, let's be real. We get into it because we love watching HGTV, and it must be an amazing career to be in sales and getting these huge commission checks. So I wanted to break it down for you guys of how I actually made my first $100,000 in real estate, what it took to get here, and what I'm doing now to build my business and scale it in the future. So fun story. I mean, if you guys haven't been following me for a minute, my name's Marina. I'm a realtor here on Oahu in Hawaii, and I've been a realtor for 2.5 years. Before becoming a realtor, I was a wedding planner for the last 10 years. I also owned a staging company called Rome Rentals, and then I still own my honey company called Tolentino Honey Co. So I've had a lot of things on my plate, but I've totally pivoted out of weddings and full steam into real estate. My husband runs our honey company now. When I started real estate, I was still juggling multiple things. So I knew I needed to shift my time and focus to real estate to actually launch this thing and make it a real career and treat it like a business. So I did that. And starting from the pre-licensing course, I was cramming as much information, trying to binge courses and just get as much as I could about the industry before I actually got licensed. And then I kind of hit the street running. So let's kind of break down how I made that first 100K. I mean, really, it took 12 deals. So 4 of them were my sphere of influence, which I can talk to you about real quick. So my husband was prior Coast Guard. 3 of those deals were actually Coasties. And then 1 was a family friend whose mother wanted to sell their home. So 4 of those 12 deals came from my own sphere. And then 1 came from an open house. So just literally sitting in a listing like this one and saying, I don't have an agent, can you help me? I just moved on island. And so I was able to help them get into a house a week later. And then 7 of the 12 came from my team. So when I started in real estate, I knew I wanted support. I wanted to be handheld, and I didn't have the income or the sources to really put a lot of money into lead generation. So joining a team was a really wise choice of mine to partner with someone who already has the business, who has the lead gen flowing, and I could just plug in. And so I got some of those from doing the briefings that we do on base here for all the soldiers who just arrive on island. I also had some from past clients that were handed to me. Because I have staging experience and I've been working with sellers, it was an easy transition for me to become a listing agent. So I actually had 3 listings my first year as a realtor as well. So that was the total of 12 that added up into my first 100K. It took me about 8 to 9 months, I would say. But if we're doing calendar year, if we did January through December of that full first year of real estate, I actually did 18 deals that year. So I made over 100,000 my first year. And I'm not gonna say this is average. I think the industry average is you do 1 or 2, knowing that 88% of realtors fail. So what I wanna break down in this video is 5 things that I did to actually make that 100,000. So let's say you just got licensed. You literally get your paper and you're good to go and you're registered with the licensing. Your first task is always gonna be to share the news. People have to know who you are. You cannot be a secret agent. The number one thing everyone always tells you, and I did this, was to come up with a list of 100 people who know you and to share the news. And so I'm not saying go around and call every single auntie and uncle and ask for business, because nobody wants to do that. Number 1, you're gonna feel horrible making those phone calls. And number 2, they're gonna be annoyed that you called. So instead, I want you to treat this more like an update of life. Sometimes I would pick up the phone, sometimes I would text, and sometimes I would DM people depending on my relationship. But I'm just saying, hey, so-and-so, just in case you didn't see it on Instagram, I'm now a realtor and I'm super excited to start my career. Again, I'm not asking them for anything personally, but I'm gonna ask who they know. And then I'm gonna say, do you happen to know anybody looking to buy or sell in the next 12 months? I'm so eager to get involved and started in this business, and I would love a connection if you have one. And then they're probably gonna say, oh, not right now, but that's so awesome. I'll definitely keep an eye out. And then I would say, by the way, here's my Instagram. You can follow along the journey. And a lot of people love doing that anyways. And so it's just building up that social sphere in addition to your relationship. But then don't just leave it at there. When you're reaching out to people, it's not just you. Ask, how's life? How's business? How are things going? And just have that normal conversation. So it's not a sales call, it's a life call. This is your SOI. This is the people that already know you, like you, trust you. And so you're just touching base to say, hey guys, I started a new career. And it kind of takes off from there. So I mentioned this earlier, but number 2 on my list for you to do would be to join a team, especially if you don't have savings or the ability to dump a lot of money into starting your business. Joining a team is a really great way to keep your overhead low, especially as a new agent. A lot of us are gonna be stepping back from the income we had before, and we're paid on commission. So what are you gonna do to cover your life business if you're investing so much money into a new company? Instead, joining a team, really low overhead, everything is served to you on a platter as far as leads go. You just have to actually make the calls and convert the clients. And then really it was that mentor. So I wanted someone that I could job shadow, who was gonna handhold me through my first couple of transactions. I'm so thankful for the one that I had. Literally, I remember my first offer, it took me 3 to 4 hours to actually complete all the paperwork because everything's just so new to you and you really need that person for support. Number one, like how to answer an email that you don't know how the answer to, or how to answer a text message that you don't know, and then how to fill out paperwork. Where do you find the freaking paperwork? How do you submit the paperwork for signing? Like there's just so many steps as a new agent. Having that mentor is gonna be clutch. And I can say now that as a mentor, I am a mentor now, I help agents do this all the time. And it's so fun and so rewarding for me to help train and teach people the way that I learned, and just keeping it fun. There are fun environments and fun cultures, and it doesn't have to be so stuffy where you feel like you can't ask someone for help because they're too busy, then you need a better mentor. But really it's leaning on someone who's been there a couple steps ahead of you in business and being able to follow in their footsteps. Okay, so the third thing that I did to create my first 100K was working on my schedule. And really this was building the discipline to work on lead gen tasks every single day. So if you are a new agent and you're not spending at least 30 minutes to an hour every day of income producing activities, meaning you're talking to new people, then your business is gonna dry up, or you're gonna hit this like hills and valleys where you like get a client, you close a client, and then you have no clients again. So my job to provide for my family and to build this business was to keep this consistent and growing. And so I had to learn really quickly, like I hate cold calling, but I know that there's business in calling and it all comes down to a numbers game. So if I can call 5 people a day, I can rip that Band-Aid off the first thing in the morning. But then number 2 with the consistency, it's social media and just being on there, sharing my journey, not being ashamed to say, hey guys, I'm new and I'm learning everything, but here's what I learned so you can learn with me, was a really great way to bring my past audience with me into this new career and this new chapter of my life. So consistency is everything, you guys. I always say with our new team members, there's no way you can fail. The only thing we ask of you is effort. We literally give you everything you need to survive and thrive, and it's just up to you to plug in and actually do what we ask you to do. So that was a huge part of my success there. All right, the fourth thing that I did was sitting open houses. So like I said before, literally sitting in a vacant listing like this. This is one of our listings. I'm about to sit in an open house today. This is an opportunity to come in face-to-face with buyers. So when you sit out an open house sign, it's literally telling the world, hey guys, there's a house for sale over here and there's an agent sitting inside ready to talk to you. And I think I've gotten maybe 3 to 4 clients from open houses where they just stumble in, either they found it on Redfin or they're just looking on Zillow, or maybe they just literally drove by the sign and wanted to see inside. And they come in and one, they're working with an agent who's not very communicative and they're feeling like they're not a priority, so they end up working with me. Or 2, they literally don't have an agent and aren't pre-approved yet, but they're curious about the market and they just wanna know more information. So those are the kinds of buyers that I tend to pick up where, again, they just want the support and the communication that they're not getting right now. And as a new buyer for a lot of them, they just don't know what they don't know. They don't realize that there's a difference between a listing agent and a buyer's agent. And so that's your opportunity to get in front of them and say, hey guys, these are the ways that I help my clients on both sides. I would love to represent you and find you the dream home. And then I'm gonna go into a little tip and advice here that I've been getting lately. For those who say they have agents, and no, I'm not a client stealer, but I will say, I know you're working with so-and-so, they're probably awesome, but if I found you your dream home in the next 5 days, would you wanna work with me and could we work out a deal? And of course they're gonna say yes. And so it's my job to work harder than anybody else in the industry. And if I find them the home first and get it to them first and get them in the house first, why shouldn't I get the commission by helping them and giving them a better quality of service? So those are 3 ways you can convert people from open houses. Again, it's showing face, it's brand awareness, especially if you really pick one neighborhood and stick to it a lot. Those neighbors and those people who are commuting in that neighborhood get to see your face over and over and over, and it's a good way to just make an impression on that community. All right, then the 5th thing that I did that I think really was a big boost to my business was starting a YouTube channel. So exactly what I'm doing right here, I worked with a videographer because I just knew video's where it's at. And that's the same thing for 2023. Video is not going away anytime soon. And I saw a lot of big, heavy players who were on YouTube. And in my market, there wasn't a lot of people. So out of the 6,000 to 10,000 agents that we have in Hawaii, I would say there's like 30 of us posting consistently on YouTube. I can definitely handle 30 competitors. I cannot handle 6,000. So when you really want to play the water and you're, instead of going to the Sharky area on Facebook or trying to get all these cold calls, literally just showing up on video, being who you are, people will relate to you, they binge your videos, they're gonna know you, like you, trust you. And these are the dream clients that I get from YouTube. So I remember my very first one, it was after I had posted a series of how to buy your home, like literally from pre-approval to appraisal to like every single step. They binged all of those videos, called me that they were on Oahu from San Francisco, and they wanted to go to an open house the next day. And I said, yep, I can be there. And literally we got them an accepted offer by Wednesday. It was a $1.5 million house. And I was just blown away that somebody who was a stranger to me at the time felt like they knew me and that we were best friends just from watching my videos. And since then, I've closed $7 million in real estate from YouTube this year alone. So there's a lot of potential with video. You just have to, again, be consistent, be dedicated. You don't always need a videographer and an editor, like grow to that, but you do have your phone. You can literally just take it out and, hey, I'm at this open house, check it out. Here's 3 things I want you to know. And that is your video and just building up that rapport. So those are the top 5 things I did to make my first 100,000. Biggest thing takeaway, I guess, is treating it like a business, because you are. You're an entrepreneur now that you're a realtor. You're not an employee anymore. So it's learning those entrepreneurial tricks and disciplines and those habits to make you successful. You have to learn to sell yourself. And that means just showing up and not being a secret agent. So I hope that helped you guys. If you want more information about what our team does or the trainings and resources we have for you, there's an abundance of things available to you for free that you can tap into. I would love to link up with you and help you out with that. But I will keep on jamming with my videos, and I'll see you guys next week. Thanks.